Edit. Typos galore. This is petty and stupid. I would have liked to think I'm a bigger person than this, but it seems it's not the case. Guess I'm in the right place to share my little confession. Early 30s F. I'm marrying my fiance this week, early 30s M. He's the most wonderful and amazing person in the universe, but he's also extremely oblivious, socially awkward, probably on the autism spectrum. Boy just cannot pick a hint. He works with a relatively small group of people, and they get along great. They usually go for after-office drinks one Friday a month. Since we moved across the country a couple years ago, we haven't made a lot of new friends, so basically these coworkers are currently my fiance's closest group of friends. There's one girl in this group, let's call her Daisy, late 30s, who has an evident massive crush on my fiance. I must say, I don't blame her. My fiance is in tech and makes good money, wicked smart, tall, hot, nice, funny, interesting, and sweet. She has great taste in men. I've been part of a few of their get-togethers, and this woman acts like a teen girl with him. She giggles and literally twirls her hair. Whenever she laughs she puts her hand on his arm, once even his knee, always tries to sit right next to him, etc. When I pointed it out, he said he hadn't realized, then made a face like, gross, and said, I'll make sure to sit away from her. Before anyone does the Reddit thing. No, he's not cheating on me, or into her, or secretly encouraging it. We both work from home, we spend all day together, every day, I have full access to his phone, accounts, am friends with some of the other people who join those monthly after-office drinks, they've never met without several other people joining, etc. My fiancé is also extremely loyal. He doesn't do the typical things of following random women on IG. He's always talking about me. He's not a fuckboy, he doesn't like attention, doesn't like strangers touching him. I actually saw him lean away when she sat next to him, and straight up jerk away when she touched his knee. Additionally, he adores me. I even feel silly having to justify his loyalty, but I know how Reddit is. This man bakes me cookies and brushes my hair when I'm sad. He's a saint. Anyways, our wedding is very soon. It'll be a small, intimate thing, only 35 people or so. We have a few gluten-intolerant guests, including Daisy, so we're doing cake for everyone, and special gluten-free cupcakes for these guests. We found a very nice boutique bakery that makes super tasty and safe gluten-free cupcakes. Literally the best in the province, one of my gluten-intolerant friends said. One of our guests has proper celiacs, and she needs it to be like one molecule and I end up in the hospital levels of safe, so we're getting all cupcakes for our gluten-free guests there. This place, however, only has 2 cupcake flavors, chocolate or caramel. We asked each guest which flavor they'd prefer, and they all said chocolate, except for Daisy, who asked for caramel. She doesn't like chocolate, and never eats it. I know she's not allergic, intolerant. I checked and got a list of all her allergies when we confirmed her meal for our joint bachelorette party. I was about to place the order when I received a text. Long story short, I found out that Daisy was planning on wearing white to the wedding, and her +1 friend, another girl, was gonna wear beige. Of course, I went to tell my fiancé, and he said, "What a fucking asshat," and nipped that in the bud immediately. He straight up told them it was super rude, and that if they showed up wearing white, beige, cream, ivory, bone, super light pastels, very light gray, any other overly complicated way of saying white, they would not be let in. Daisy complained that it was just a white blouse, I'll wear peach pants, and he told her, no white at all, of any shade, anywhere. You're being rude to even consider it. The dress code is, wear whatever you want except white. You can show up in flip-flops if you want. Why would you want to wear the one thing that's not allowed? She pouted, said her +1 was sad, because she only looks good in light beige, but alright. He considered uninviting her, but I told him not to do it, or it could cause drama with the rest of the friend group, that we'll make sure the guard at the gate won't let her in if she's wearing anything too light, and my friends all volunteered to shower her in red wine if she dares. I'm also overall a very chill person. If she actually showed up wearing white, I'd laugh my ass off, she'd be shaming herself in public. Anyways, I went back to placing the cupcake order, and just asked for all chocolate cupcakes. I guess it just slipped my mind to order a caramel one. Oops. Well, who doesn't love chocolate, anyway? Update. Hi everyone, IDKY, but it seems the update post was automatically removed by the mods. I bring you a boring and disappointing update. Despite lots of comments saying the original post was fake, this actually is 100% factual, and as such kinda lame. Real life tends to be just a little bit boring, sadly. I'm not kidding, this is a lame update. Reading the rest of this text is probably a waste of your time. It's mostly to gush about my wedding. You've been warned. To the point. Our wedding day was indeed the best of my life. I'm so excited to be a wife to my wonderful husband and start this new stage together. I know y'all didn't come here to hear me gush about friends and family being brought together to celebrate our love, or the adoration in my groom's eyes when he saw me walking down the aisle, or the funny anecdotes. I'll get to that closer to the end. Y'all are here for drama. Sadly, I have no drama to report. Daisy and her beige loving +1 dressed perfectly appropriately, in blue, our wedding theme's color, and didn't try anything weird. Daisy actually even made an amazing IG reel that's the only piece of footage that managed to capture my husband's face when he saw me come in, my big, beautiful Viking, suddenly holding back tears and staring right at me, like nothing else in the universe existed. I thought I'd have to only rely on my memory of that face forever, but what do you know? Now I can catch a quick glimpse of it whenever I want, for the rest of my life. So, thank you, Daisy, for having such a crush on my husband that you recorded exactly what I would have recorded myself if I'd been able. You truly have impeccable taste in men. Here's the part that'll disappoint you the most. Regarding the cupcakes, my dad was in charge of bringing stuff to the venue the morning of, and he forgot to tell the staff what was in the bag. The cupcakes sat in the heat outside the fridge for 5 hours. We ended up having to trash them. That's a good use of $30. But luckily for our gluten-intolerant guests, they had passion fruit parfaits available, which were praised to high heavens. So, Daisy got some amazing dessert in the end, though her seat was still pretty terrible, if that makes you feel better. Truth be told, I don't mind. That's what I get for attempting to get revenge. Daisy continued to be her socially unaware self. Maybe it's because I was in good spirits, but I don't mind at all. She got too close front and center for the group pics, literally leaning over my dad in one of them made comments about how very single she was all night long, and at one point joked to please toss the bouquet her way, same as many other girls attending did. She didn't get to catch it, though. We were having that part of our wedding at a craft brewery, very large place, capacity for some 500 people, and there must have been about 250 in that night. It was, after all, a Thursday. I know, who gets married on a Thursday? People who saved tens of thousands in one decision, that's who. We had the back patio reserved for a private party. When we came in, they rang a bell, and all the strangers there were clapping and hollering for us as we walked through. So at the end, when I went to toss the bouquet, we ran back all across the brewery again, telling all single women they were invited to come to the toss. I thought maybe a couple would join up. What I know, there were no less than 100 people suddenly in for the bouquet toss. A random girl caught it, we took pictures together, it was a lot of fun. Some more details about the wedding. Lunch was great. Everyone got to eat whatever they wanted, since the restaurant let us order à la carte. We got to toast, the cake was refrigerated, thank God, and it tasted great. It's in my freezer right now. I'm getting a slice after typing this, consequences be damned. The favors, surprisingly, were the best part of the wedding. Everyone was so excited about them. They were celestial planispheres. The paper flowers we handmade with my husband for the centerpieces were also very popular, and the guests took them all home. Then that night we got a terrace suite at an amazing hotel with a gorgeous view of the city and a hot tub. It would have been very romantic to spend all night on the terrace, seeing the city lights, making love in the hot tub, except I caught stomach flu a couple days before the wedding, and I'm still sick lol. Thankfully nothing terribly urgent. I'll go to the hospital tonight. I'm much better now. Didn't hamper my enjoyment of the day. Absolutely everything was perfect. Also didn't hamper our ability to consummate the marriage with a quickie haha. That's how you know it's real love, when your husband still finds you sexy even after seeing you pop loperamide and run to the toilet all day long. Slept soundly that night. Also making use of this update to answer some FAQ. 1. Why would you even invite Daisy? Sounds like neither one of you likes her, and you had a small guest list. As I explained, my husband is very shy, introverted, and has a hard time making friends. Since we moved here, he lost contact with almost all his friends from our hometown. This group is all the team members of his department at work. Singling out just Daisy would have invited gossip, drama, and people taking sides. There was no outright good reason not to invite Daisy. She technically didn't do anything wrong. Why would I make myself look like a crazy jealous bitch and jeopardize my husband's new friend group, making it awkward for everyone? I'm not insecure in my relationship. I didn't need Daisy uninvited. And yes, my husband offered to uninvite her, but only because he thought I'd want her uninvited for asking if she could wear white. He did so because he's a good partner who prioritizes my feelings over the potential consequences the drama would have brought. 2. Okay, but why give her a +1? Everyone got one. We're not American, so the typical rules don't apply to +1s, but also we had a weird wedding in the sense that it was more like a courthouse wedding, and then a restaurant for lunch, and a bar at night. We're using a government program that opens a courthouse in a beautiful landmark in the city, think park, museum, theater, etc. So we asked for no gifts, and for people to pay for their own food instead, as a cash registry of sorts. The +1s didn't cost us anything. The restaurant we used also was operating like a normal restaurant, so we didn't pay ahead of time. Everyone ordered what they wanted on the spot. 3. You said your fiance and you WFH, but that he goes for after-office drinks once a month. What gives? As with pretty much every large, locally based, mostly remote company, there's an optional office space in town. They work there one Friday a month, and then go for drinks to a nearby bar. You can also call them after-office drinks, if you work from home, you know? 4. If he jerks away, he knows she's touching him, that means he secretly wants to fuck her, too. This is the stupidest one yet. Yes, he knows he got touched, but didn't know what it implied until I mentioned it. Reading comprehension has really gone down the drain, huh? 5. Something you're toxic and you'll get divorced and your husband should run and I'll laugh on your grave. Sorry, can't hear you over the sound of my perfect life. So yeah, boring update for you. Amazing update for me, except for the stomach flu bit. Very happy with how everything turned out, even if my revenge went unexecuted. Sorry I don't have more drama to share. But ah well, the best laid plans of mice and men.